Fork found in kitchen? Oh yeah? Well, fruit found in fridge.
Can't believe we're at Hogwarts!
No, that's Buckingham Palace. Hogwarts is fictional. Do you know that? It's important to me that you know that.
You're not trade. You're not. Come here. Come here. No, you're not trade.
Time and time again, I'm really reminded why being queer is more than just an identity. It's a culture, it's a way of thinking, it's a way of life. And I don't want to go in here and add into this unnecessary online discourse that always happens every Pride. But let me just wake this up. You're not queer if you don't get why someone who's trans-mass can still identify with the lesbian community. You're not queer if you don't understand why a trans femme might still be attracted to gays or only date gay men. You're not queer if you equate bisexuality to straightness. At the end of the day, we all gay as hell. So go outside in the community and you'll see who gives a fuck.
Am I upset? No, I am not. A little, but...
You know, with this whole who gonna be the boys conversation, I can't help but think of my neighbor, Mr. Nigel. Before I moved away from Miami, which is my hometown, my family lived upstairs from a man named Mr. Nigel. And for reference, I am the queer son of two preachers in the Pentecostal church. And for those of you who may not know what that means, effectively what I'm saying is that I grew up gay in a very evangelical Christian tradition that was very conservative around sex and gender politics. I tried to come out to my parents 3 times before I successfully did so. The first 2 times, I did so not so much as a reclaiming of my identity, but as a repentance for being an inherently sinful person. I remember one time I sat across from my grandmother, who was the first person that I ever came out to, and I explained to her that I felt like the devil was trying to change me. My grandmother looked down at the floor. She took this countenance of worry across her face. I still remember the creases that formed in her forehead, because now you see she was stuck in a conundrum, because the boy she loved was becoming something she was taught to hate. All she did was offer me a prayer that she had written down on a piece of paper, and we never spoke of it again. When I tried to come out to my mother a couple times, the first time she told me that I was just confused and that my hormones were all over the place. The second time, she explained to me that I just wasn't praying hard enough. We used to live in a neighborhood that was near a canal that was surrounded by all of this greenery and these flowers. And I remember that even though the apartment that we lived in was very humble and not well kept, I still felt like we were living a lush life because of how much life was blooming and growing around that canal. And one day my father took me for a walk. And as we were walking, he said, "Your mother told me what you told her." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "You need to start getting girls' phone numbers, because what you're doing is not of God." Now, for reference, I had not been doing anything, because I knew at that age, so I thought, that who I was not of God. And unlike a lot of the other people in the church that I grew up in, I was actually taking what I was being taught to heart. So because I couldn't bring myself to be attracted to girls, I simply decided I would not allow myself to be attracted to anyone, which is not how it works, but I was a very solitary individual. And then we moved into a new apartment building. And downstairs, in moved this man who draped the front door of his apartment with all of these emerald green philodendrons. I mean, the leaves would drape around his door and even over the edge of the banister of the outside of his apartment. It was almost as if walking into his apartment was like walking into a temple. He kept 3 pit bulls. And even though he spoke with an incredibly soft voice, when it was time to address his dogs, he knew how to find enough force to keep them in check. Every holiday season, whenever we cooked, he would partake of some of our food and would also bring some of his own. And I couldn't help but notice the way that he held his hands at the middle of his waist instead of down at his sides. And the way that his tongue would glide over his S's with so much sweetness. And the same woman who told me that my hormones had gone haywire and that my prayers were not being effective enough and that I didn't have enough faith to change, was suddenly riding down the street, going to the grocery store, taking on the new music of living with this man. She would come home and tell me stories and laugh about the things that he said that made her feel good after hard days. One night, my dad had gotten stranded at the airport because his car broke down and the buses had stopped running. And in the middle of the night, Mr. Nigel got in his car, rode up the highway, picked my dad up, and refused any offer of gas money or any other form of payment. One day, Mr. Nigel had taken a lover, and this man was vicious. He was abusive. He was loud. And I'll never forget hearing that my mother pulled into the parking lot and jumped out of her car and was ready to run into the apartment where they were arguing to physically fight a man who was aggressing someone who had become her best friend. There was something about Mr. Nigel that brought out the girl in my mother in the best of ways. Mr. Nigel passed away in 2021. Just before he passed away, I saw him one last time, and I was in graduate school at the time, and he was asking me how much time I had until I received my master's. I told him I had 1 more year, and he said, "Okay, I'll be there." And I said, "Really?" And he said, "Of course I'll be there. You were the first person to ever give me a gift when I moved into this neighborhood. And I didn't realize it, but when I went on a trip to New Orleans with my friends, I had bought a snow globe, and I brought it back and I gave it to him. Because even though I never came out to him, and although I'm pretty sure he clocked me, Mr. Nigel had lived many more years, had seen many more things. He knew my tea, but I considered Mr. Nigel a queer elder to me. And even though I couldn't tell him my truth and why he meant so much to me, I still had to figure out a way to say thank you. So whenever I hear this conversation about who gonna be the boys, it kind of blows my mind a little bit, because these are the boys. The soft boys, the feminine boys, the girly boys. The truth of the matter is that the boys who put on the airs and the masculine effects, some of that may be true for some of them, but a lot of what you perceive as the boys is a defense mechanism. I don't understand why it's so hard for us to embrace the fact that the boys are free now. That high laughter and that switching the hips and that hand, those are the boys. Not all the boys, but those are the boys. Who gonna be the boys? The boys are being the boys. And it was Mr. Nigel being the boy he was that helped heal the girl and my mother. And that's the reason I was able to come home to her and tell her my truth, and she actually received me. Mr. Nigel saved my life by being himself. You better thank God for the boys. You don't know whose lives they saving.
Hello to all of my followers who love me and have sense. I am tired of transphobes being in my comments. I'm tired of seeing the damn comments. You can't help stupid. So, can y'all fill up this comment section with a whole bunch of comments about any fucking thing? I just would like to drown out the noise. Please.
If I ever wake up and I'm not gay anymore, pull the plug! Take me out. Because that's not me. Somebody hijacked my brain. Because I would never do that. So just take me out. Put me out of my misery. Because I can't live like that.
Asexuals and aromantics want me to make this video for them. So I'm going to make this video for them. Do I kiss people? No.
I love you.
It'll pass.
I waited all this time, now I guess it's time I can try. A million things I can say, but baby, always one girl. I leave my bedroom with my poster, serve you up. I'ma pop on the beat, do my little thing, I'ma drop on the beat like you got a doll on the beat. Shake my little titties, got me looking like a tree. Yeah, watch me work my thing, bro. Hair day wearing bangles, hot like Charlie's Angels. If they hot, I bang.
Even if you had a gold-plated cooter and that man was straight, you was not finna get with OBO Jones. You just wasn't. Shut up. Be happy for that man and that man, and get in his link tree. Look for the wedding registry. That's how you could be helpful. But all this, oh, they're taking all the good ones from who? From you? You never had them to begin with. You never had them. You could never pull that. That's not what you pulling up to the funk with. That's not. And I get why you losing your mind and acting all corny. It's because of the wondrous splendor of muscles and good-smelling dudes over there. And the dude that you rest next to thinks wiping his butt is gay. And you love him anyways. I get it. Just get in the comments and say congratulations to that man and that man. But to be all, oh my God, they taking all the good ones. That's not who you pulling up with to the party now. That's not who's at GameStop with you. Okay? Of that caliber of good looking, that's not who we pulling, baby. We just have to be honest with ourselves. And it's honestly, he's really better than me because I would be disrespectful. My feelings would be hurt if your ugly ass was in my comments talking about, oh, who am I gonna marry now? It was never gonna be me. It was never gonna be me. It was never gonna be. Are you mad?
Of course. Fuck, it's genius. Why didn't I think of that?
Wait, my ladies running. Wait, my ladies running. Wait, my ladies running. Don't cheat. Give me cheat, give me purr, give me meow, give me her, give me fun.
This is how you're going to use your keffiyeh to cover your face and protect your identity, whether you are just marching for pride or if you are protesting what is currently going on in this country as well as around the world. We're going to start with our keffiyeh folded in half like so. If you don't already have one, I'll link this rainbow one for pride below. It's from Demi Falestini. They've been around in Palestine. They're a Palestinian-owned brand since 1950, and they're based in New Jersey now. They ship really fast, so get yours now before pride. But fold it in half like so. We're going to drape it over our heads, and we want it off-center a little bit. We don't want it fully centered on our head. So we're going to have it off-center and draping over our head because we're going to fold this excess cloth up like so. And we're going to take the two tail ends of the keffiyeh and bring them around the back of the head. We're not tying them, we're just crossing sides. So let me put this part down. We're gonna cross sides with those two tails and pull tight like so. Now with the shorter tail end, we're just gonna take this and cross it over, and we'll take the tail of it and tuck it into the back of the keffiyeh just like so. And then we'll take, and this is a fine look here. You could go out with this. This is perfectly fine, but we want to cover our faces. We don't want to breathe in any tear gas, pepper spray, anything like that. So we're going to take the long end, take the doubled over end of the long end, not this part where the two flaps meet. We're going to take the doubled over end. We're going to come up just a little bit because you can see the back of the keffiyeh here. We want to come over that and start draping high and bring this all the way across our face like that. And I'm gonna tuck my hair into it because obviously I'm gonna bring it all the way across our face like so, like that, and then tuck it into the back of the keffiyeh, the other tail end, like so. This will keep you from being identifiable by any sort of law enforcement or any sort of pushback from this administration because you have a right to your voice. You have a right to protest. So do so safely.
You're under arrest for murder.
I'm just here slaying, officer.
Is that a confession?
It's Pride Month, sir.
Damn it. You're free to go, ma'am.
Queen, carry on slaying.
I'm not gonna lie. If trans women are included in your womanism, then you're not a womanist. You're a stupid bitch. I'm probably not gonna elaborate either. Well, maybe I will. I'll probably elaborate, but not today.
What the fuck is on?
Yes. Yes.
Dan and Phil have truly unreheatable nachos. Like, you can't do what they did. You really can't. Like the plausible deniability of it all. Like the Manchester apartment, like you can't.
Can't a poor mustard like me ever have a little fun?
Yeah, everyone likes fun.
You like to have fun too?
I mean, you know, you're asking about me. I mean, yeah, I like fun. Yeah. You know.
Oh yeah?
I already said yes.
I don't know about smoking. Smoking is horrible. Why are people smoking? Love it. Love smoking.
Who here loves Sierra? Clap. Then why don't you buy her music?
Is this technically dating?
I don't know. What's the difference between dating and hanging out?
Like kissing?
Do you want to kiss me?
Absolutely fucking kinda.
Tell me I'm pretty first.
You're pretty.
What's pretty about me?
How you're never able to wash your body glitter all the way off.
Okay, slut, kiss me. Mwah.
Happy Pride to every man who goes on Instagram stories, scrolls, and then eventually sees sponsored ads for HIV medication. Now, mind you, there's nothing wrong with HIV medication. It's just the sole fact that it feels like the algorithm is calling you up.
What counts as sex for a gay couple?
Like watching Desperate Housewives and like eating spaghetti in bed.
What do you think counts as sex for straight people?
Yelling at each other like at Denny's or at Outback Steakhouse.
I live. Like Hi, I'm Ananias. This is Gaydar. What does MLM stand for?
I was about to say Man Crush Monday.
Where do you find these guys? MLM stands for man loving man.
It sounds too scientific. It sounds like a type of DNA strand.
Okay.
Which it's not. Wait, which it is. No, you don't choose to be gay is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Can you name 3 things considered lesbian culture?
Subarus, power tools, staying really close friends with your ex that you had like a horrible breakup with.
Right. Do you relate to any of those statements?
No, I'm pretty Irish with breakups. It's a pretty hard close because we have generations of not expressing ourselves.
Can you name a lesbian icon?
King Princess.
You ate that, by the way.
Yeah. I really only know that one song that's really emotional and rough. I really like it.
I think I'm asking you so many lesbian questions because the writer thought you were a he, him lesbian.
I got no chest hair. I think that's why women like me sometimes. Before they even see it, they know it's smooth as a seal.
Okay, well, show the people.
I'm not camera ready. I'll come back later.
Name a movie about trans people that isn't Amelia Perez.
Titane.
Wow.
In the film, like, basically, she kills a bunch of people and then naively hopeful that he'll find his son. She injects him with steroids so he can work out more.
What's the end of the movie? Oh my God!
I feel like we're getting along. You want to hang out?
No, I don't.
Oh man!
What is the plot of Brokeback Mountain?
2 gay cowboys keeping it a secret, get freaky time. Shout out Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger for really going there.
Do you think you could act in Brokeback Mountain?
I think I could, especially with the right opposite scene partner.
I'm so obsessed.
I hope I'm skinny enough to do it.
If I had to guess if you were gay, straight, or a homophobe, I think metrosexuality is in. Am I close?
Choo-choo.
That's not what that means.
You see them on TikTok. Ow. They're out of shape. They're asexual. They're rejecting the.
I used to have hoop dreams until I found out there were other ways to score.
Which do you give less of a fuck about, women's rights or gay rights?
Gay rights, definitely.
You didn't even hesitate.
Not at all. The more gay you are, the more homophobic you become.
What does that mean?
I've just seen too much. I'm like, you know what? We gotta pack it up.
What makes you homophobic?
People like me.
Oh.
White gays. We gotta go. We're ruining it for everybody, and I know that we are, and I'm sorry to even be here, but for fuck's sake, we're ruining everything. We're ruining everything.
How would you define a white gay?
Insufferable.
Insufferable.
Yeah.
Loud, proud.
Mm-hmm. Entitled.
Entitled.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. Myself. Yeah.
All the gay guys, they're all peace-loving people.
Amen.
Anytime I have the bomb clock in my car, all these straight boys, trouble.
Do we make the shit look good? I know we make the shit look good.
Can't even front on you, never do. Think that's the main difference when it comes to me and you. One day we giving lifetime, one night only movie. Then we back with the shits and it's given to me.
One thing I can't stand is a homophobic stud. Cause what? Mama, you get your period in ethicus. Don't ever lose the plot. Like, ever.
Can you guys hear me? Hey, let me know if you guys can hear me.
We had reservations at our table dinner at 8 tonight. But I want you on my plate tonight. Room 85 down 85. I don't know why we even do date night. Why we even looking at the menu? I knew what I wanted when I met you.
Just so you know, the word nigga is a black specific neopronoun. It's a black specific neopronoun, you know? The more you know.
Oh my God, it's an overgrown twink!
Enough queer discourse. I'm tired of it. Y'all never come up with anything new to say. I've heard it all before. It's time to talk about the true underdogs of modern society. People whose secondhand embarrassment is so bad it makes them unable to watch television or movies.
What do you mean the fit is not hard? You're just a hater. That's all you do is hate.
My name is Pink and I'm really glad to meet you. You're recommended to me by some people. Hey, ooh, is this illegal? Hey, ooh, it feels illegal.
I'm in love with Summer. I love her smile. I love her hair. I love her knees. I love this heart-shaped birthmark she has on her neck. I love the way she sometimes...
Y'all real good at figuring out who gay. Can y'all figure out who the fuck hiring? Indeed, a lying son of a bitch. These goddamn jobs is in the closet.
And if I was gay just for a day, I'd call it Gay Day.
Buy a new fragrance.
Rainbow by LGBTQ. Wear your colors.